Sorry, Myra. I just got everything up there.
Yeah. He had to change the password and then I got it.
Just gonna ask for it.
Hello, pumpkins.
Pumpkins. He likes us. He likes us.
With the Lowe's pedal.
Sound like my mom.
You what?
Pumpkin. I was round.
My mother didn't call us pumpkin, but she called us sweet peas.
My mom called me pumpkin one time. I said, I'm not your pumpkin, I'm your little sweetie.
You
She'd
will not
always say-
forget.
Call me the right name. I'll be a vegetable.
Oh, funny.
You got 45 seconds, Aaron. Not
Oh,
to
fire,
rush
I'll get in. It'll be all right.
it. All right. Yeah, me.
Worst case, I'll just say I'm here out loud.
It'll tell you to change your password.
Yeah, I'll get in.
Mine didn't.
Everybody's password had that update.
Mine was fortunate I didn't have to.
Oh, you were?
See, mine blew up last time.
I think mine did too.
And so, in fact, I don't even know why it was what it was.
Yeah. Carol,
Yeah,
here's my little friends.
awesome, thank you.
We got some of those. Give them out to people. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should get out of jail.
All right, time has come. I will call this meeting to order. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And now roll call, please.
Mayor Terry Wycombe,
Here.
Vice Mayor Jacqueline Wells,
Here.
Councilmember Aaron Durst,
Here.
Councilmember Darrell Gardner,
Here.
Councilmember Dabari Martinez,
Here.
Councilmember Linda Smith,
Here,
Councilmember Chris Weidenberg.
Here. All right, thank you. Next thing on our agenda is to approve the agenda. Vice Mayor Wells?
I move to approve the July 19th, 2022 City Council agenda as presented.
second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to approve the July 19th, 2022 City Council agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Councilmember Gardner.
Yes.
Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
Thank you. Next thing on our agenda is to approve the minutes of July 5th. Vice Mayor Wells?
I move to approve the City Council regular meeting minutes of July 5th, 2022 as presented.
Do I hear a second? Okay. There's been a motion made and seconded to approve the City Council regular minute meetings of July 5th, 2022 as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
Thank you. The next thing on our agenda is citizens' participation. This is a time when anybody from the public can get up and address the council on anything they would like to. That is not on the agenda. And you have there's a 5-minute time limit. And is there anybody here that would like to speak to us tonight? come up and tell us who you are.
So, excuse me, Honorable Mayor and Council, tonight I just wanted to do something out of the ordinary. We have an individual that is amongst us that has been serving this community, I don't even, probably before this date, but since 1988, Charlotte Newell was asked by Della Vivian to sit on the steering committee to look at the Downtown Development Authority. That is 30-plus years. She served at the Chamber in different various positions at the Chamber. She served at Seroptimist, and she has actually served on the DDA board since April of 2004, so over 18 years. So the branch manager of Bank of the West, she then retired, went to the schools and started working with our kiddos. And so if possible, I would like our board chair, Steve Singer, and Charlotte to please come forward. I just think there are a lot of people in our community, but I just think all the way back to 1988. So we have a plaque that we would like to give to Charlotte. Hereby honor Charlotte Newell in recognition for your many years of visionary guidance, exceptional leadership, and unconditional commitment to Rollins DDA Main Street Board of Directors, 2004 to 2022. She's retired. We have some new decorations for her new home in Ryan Park that Ed can do. And then some cards. I don't know if you want to say.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Well, thank you. Ed and I moved here 1974, and my vision at that time was to really volunteer and become part of the community. And DDA Main Street has been so rewarding. I find it's the heart of our community. It's where things happen. It's where the young come, the old come. And everything that we have touched has turned to gold in my book. And I just love this community, and I'll still be here as a strong volunteer, you bet it. But we raised our 3 boys here, and it's been so rewarding. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. Thanks again, Charlotte.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We appreciate everything you've done.
Hello, City Council.
Hi.
I'm John Tangestal. I'm the Senior Director for Youth and Outreach for Volunteers of America. And I was in town, and I was talking to Myra, and thought I would just introduce myself. And on behalf of Volunteers of America, we are extremely thankful for your support. Just the whole community in general has been so supportive of us in opening the Stepping Stones Crisis Center. So I just want to say, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for everything. This community has really been, it's really been incredible to be a part of. So thank you.
Well, and I want to say thank you for coming here and taking over. It's a very necessary service, and we certainly appreciate you being here.
Yeah, and we're very committed to making that facility the best that it can be to help the kids in this community, this county. So just thank you very, very much. You got my report, but I just wanted to highlight that on August 9th from 8:30 to 2:30, we have, it's called Youth Mental First Aid. And this Youth Mental Health First Aid teaches you how to identify, understand, and respond to signs of mental health and substance use challenges. among adolescents ages 12 to 18. You'll build skills and confidence you need to reach out and provide initial support to young people who are struggling. You'll also learn how to help them connect them to appropriate support. So after this course, people will be able to recognize common signs and symptoms of mental health challenges, including anxiety, depression, eating disorders, ADHD, recognize common signs and symptoms of substance use challenges, understand how to interact with a youth person in crisis, know how to connect a young person with help, and better understand trauma, substance use, self-care, and the impact of social media and bullying. So that is going to be presented by our clinical director in Albany County. Her name is Dr. Kristen Corvella. She's fantastic. I've sat in some of her trainings. So that is open to the community. So if you know anybody that's interested, I did print off a few. Unfortunately, they weren't color, but if you want me to leave some of these, if you know somebody that would benefit from this training, we'd love to have them. So, and then the last thing I just ask, if you know anybody that's interested in possibly working for us, go to voanr.org, and we'd love to chat with them about our possibilities that we have here in Rollins. So, thank you.
Can you tell me the times again on that August 9th event?
Yeah, it's 8:30 to 2:30.
Okay.
So, and you're going to have to register with Kristen, and there's 2 hours of like a pre-training. I'm not exactly sure what that is, and then 6 hours in person. So,
Okay.
all right.
Well, thank you, and again, thank you for,
Yeah, and again,
Coming
thank you
to
to
our
you guys
community.
as well. Thank you.
is there anybody else that would like to address the council? Tell us who you are. You didn't last time.
Sorry, Honorable Mayor and Council Pam Thayer. I just wanted to give the council and the public and people who are watching an update. We are putting together the city, or I should say, the city and the Business Innovation Hub, some start your own business classes. I have confirmation on dates with SBDC and the Business Innovation Hub for any layoffs that are happening, and so they will be next Thursday, the 28th, from 2 to 3:30, and then Thursday, the 18th of August, from 5 to 6:30. Also, the hub will be attending the job fair with the city. We have our table, and Jim Drever from SBDC and myself will also be having a booth to help any laid-off workers. So this will be posted. The other thing is we're working with the movies, and they are going to be running an ad for this for us to get the word out for any layoffs that have happened. So I wanted you to.
And it's not strictly for laid-off people, it's for anybody looking for a job, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct. Anybody who's interested in starting their own business. Yes. So I will have these flyers out too, and the advertising will start tomorrow. So I just wanted the public to know that also. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Is there anybody else? All right. Next thing on our agenda is a proclamation. It's for the National Night Out. Excuse me. And I will read it. The City of Rollins Proclamation, the 39th Annual National Night Out 2022. Whereas the National Association of Town Watch and the Rollins Police Department are sponsoring a nationwide crime, drug, and violence protection program on August 2nd, 2022 called National Night Out. And whereas the 39th Annual National Night Out provides a unique opportunity for the City of Rollins to join forces with thousands of other communities across the country in promoting cooperation, law enforcement, community crime prevention efforts, and whereas victim advocates play a vital role in assisting the Rollins Police Department through joint crime, drug, and violence protection efforts in Rollins, and is supporting National Night Out 2022. And whereas it is essential that all citizens of Rollins be aware of the importance of crime protection programs and the impact that their participation can have on reducing crime, drugs, and violence in Rollins. And whereas police, community partnerships, neighborhood safety, awareness, and cooperations are important, themes of the National Night Out program. Now therefore, I, Terry L. Wycombe, Mayor of City of Rollins, do hereby proclaim August 2nd, 2022 as National Night Out 2022 and urge all citizens to join the Rollins Police Department and the National Association of Town Watch in supporting the 39th Annual National Night Out. So please attend. Thank you. The next thing on our agenda is the 2022 Employee of the Second Quarter. And I would turn the floor over to Stephanie Paulson.
Honorable Mayor and Council, this is an exciting thing that I get to do. I love this, this part. This is our 2022 Employee of the Second Quarter. Just kind of give you a little background on that. We take nominations from everyone employees throughout the city. They can nominate their coworkers. They can nominate anyone they see doing a fantastic job. And we had a slew of them to choose from. It was a tough choice. We have some great workers here. And then the leadership team gets together and they vote. And this is the individual who was chosen from that. So I would like to invite Ariel to come up. So I'm just going to read a little bit. I'm actually going to read the nomination for her. This individual who put her name in said, Ariel has been a huge help in the Community Development Office with her knowledge in the administrative side of our office and with planning and zoning and board of adjustments. She set up meetings and provided information to the advertisements in the newspaper, as well as getting packets ready for the meetings. For the board members. She's been a huge asset to the city, and she's always willing to help wherever needed. And I just have to say, I truly agree with that. She is always, every time I need anything, Ariel's there on the spot. And I just really appreciate her willingness to step up and to be there and do whatever is needed for us. I appreciate it. So I'll give you that.
Good job.
Congratulations.
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 Good job, Ariel.
All right, thank you. And again, congratulations, Ariel. The next thing on our agenda is there are 2 Rollins DDA Main Street in-district positions open, and I would entertain a motion. Councilman Smith?
Yes, there are 2 positions. I'll do one, and then we'll have to do the other one, I guess. And I don't know if they're here, if you want them to come before us before I make a motion, or you want me to just go ahead and make the motion?
You know what? I would like to hear from them why they would like to be on this board.
Okay, so I'll reserve it until we
So-
hear from them.
You can both come up at the same time, take turns, Wayne Godfredson and Rita Sondergaard.
Here tonight. Yes, there she is.
Kind of tell us why you want to be on this board.
I guess the reason I want to be on the board is, I don't know, to see something positive come out of downtown and help aid with that. You know, I feel like we're in a lull right now, and, you know, we've dedicated a lot, me and my wife, to downtown, and I want to try to pass that on and help with that. That's what I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Rita Sondergaard, and I want to help. I've always been in a position to volunteer, and I've always felt it was my responsibility to do that as a good citizen of this community. So I look forward to doing something on the board for DDA, very positive for not only DDA, but to reverberate from this section of the city to other parts of the city. So I would like to be considered as part of this group and as part of the community itself as one of its active volunteers.
Well, thank you. Councilman Smith.
I move that we appoint Rita Sonderberg to the DDA, or the Rollins DDA Main Street Board for an in-district term ending December 31st, 2022.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion made and seconded to appoint Rita Sondergaard to the Rollins DDA Main Street Board for an in-district term ending December 31st, 2022. Is that correct?
There's two
short term, but okay.
There's two terms available. They're both based off of people who've resigned. So we have one expiring 22 and one expiring
Okay.
25.
All right. Is there any further discussion? Please open online voting.
Okay, so online voting is open. Councilmember Durst?
Well, I was trying to, this is two motions, one for each position.
We're going to vote on one and then
Well,
the
but
other.
it has her name on both terms.
Oh, I
If
So it
you-
says move to appoint for 2022 and move to
just was
appoint.
copying and pasting their names, that's all. So I'll remove
So it's for 2022,
two.
correct?
That's
Right.
it, yes.
Okay. It was weird, so I just wanted to make sure we had it right.
Online voting has closed, the motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. Vice Mayor Wells.
I move to appoint Wayne Gottfredson to the Rollins DDA Main Street Board for an in-district term ending December 31st, 2025.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to appoint Wayne Gottfredson, to the Rollins DDA Main Street Board for an in-district term ending December 31st, 2025. Is there any discussion? Please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting has passed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. The next thing is to appoint people for the Shooting Range Advisory Board. And it looks like we have three openings and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 applicants. I would entertain a motion.
Do you want to do the same as before?
What's that?
Did you want to have them speak before we did?
Oh, yeah, yes, we should, I'm sorry. We'll start right in the order they're written on my computer. Chris Iacovetto. Would you like to come up and tell us why you'd like to be appointed to this board? Of course you would.
Of course I would.
Yes.
Honorable Mayor, Council, my name is Chris Iacovetto. My history with the outdoor shooting range actually began in 1999 before the city had anything to do with it. It was just a sagebrush field. I started competitively shooting then, and I joined a shooting club that was in control of that property, had gotten it from the BLM. We did it as far as we could go, then realized that we needed the city to have the ability to get funds and other things, grants and that sort of thing. So that's when we turned it over to the city, and I've been a member of the board since actually 2007, not 2008 as my application indicated. So I've been on the board a long time. My constituents have continued to vote me as the chairman of the board for about 7 years running. And I keep telling them, there's opportunities here for others, but they like the way I run the meetings, I think, which always start on time and end as quickly as we can, given the information we need to do. And so I appreciate your consideration, and I do want to continue volunteering for the city in that position. So thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Next person, Todd Canaday.
Good evening, council. I guess the reasons I'd like to be on the board and stay on the board is I'm a long life member of the Rollins community, and I've really enjoyed watching our board and our shooting range grow. I think we've turning it into something that has got recognition from the entire state, and I'd like to keep growing that so that we are known in the state for having one of the nicest shooting ranges in the state. I've been a volunteer on the Elk Foundation and the Friends of the NRA since '97. I've helped raise millions of dollars, and I've helped support the shooting range through those, and I'd still like to keep going forth with that and help get grants through the Friends of the NRA to help keep improving our shooting range. So.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
The next person on the list is Roger Epp.
Honorable Mayor and Council, my name is Roger Epp, and I would like to ask for your consideration onto the Shooting Advisory Board. I guess you can say that I am continuing something that my father started. He was pivotal in putting the pistol range in the rec center when the rec center was built, and he served out there and shot for a long time. And I have been on this is my, I believe, 4th term that I am seeking on the advisory board here for the shooting range out here. It is really a wonderful range, recognized throughout the state as one of the best that there is, especially our 1,000-yard range with the computerized targets that we have. If any of you have any questions on those, you can feel free to ask us and everything like that. But it's a pleasure to work on that. We're presently trying to make the berms out there a little bit safer between the 300 and 1,000-yard range, and so life goes on and the work goes on, and I would like to be a part of that. So I would like to ask you for your vote for this committee.
Thank you, Roger. The next applicant is Chris Davis, and I see he's on the screen. So, Chris, can you hear me? And go ahead and tell us about why you would like to be on this board. Oh, you must be muted.
Chris, you just muted yourself. You were unmuted before.
Oh, how about now?
We
Perfect.
can hear you.
All right. Technology works when you hit the wrong button, huh? My name is Chris Davis. Thank you, Council, for your consideration to be on this board. Back in high school, I was a junior instructor for the Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks for the Hunter Safety Program. Been in the shooting, hunting industry off and on for the last 20 years or so. Currently, I compete in long-range rifle precision matches throughout the western United States. Rollins does have one of the nicest ranges probably in the region, not just the state. So, I mean, we've had lots of people say that it's one of the nicest ranges they've been to, and we've had other people say it's probably one of the most underutilized range in the region as well. So I would like your consideration to be on the board to get more events started and maintained. We need to get more youth shooters. We need to get newer shooters involved in this and pass that torch along. I think I can do a pretty good job at that. Currently, I run a monthly long-range precision rifle match, the third Sunday. The last few months, we've had between 15 and 17 people, and not one local person besides myself. So people will travel. We just got to give them a place to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. The next person on our list is Tanya Taylor.
Hello, Council. My name is Tanya Taylor, and I'm a Rollins Middle School special ed teacher. And when I saw you guys advertise for this, appointment, it spiked my interest because I actually have a lot of students that talk to me about hunting and fishing all the time. And I think it's just really sad that we don't have a lot to do for the kids, but I see a lot of potential. Maybe the shooting range, we could do more with our youth in our community. Me and my husband came here 30 years ago and actually met here in Rollins. And we lived here for a few years, and we've lived some other places, and a couple years ago we came back because Rollins was always the place that we loved the most in all the locations we'd ever lived. And it was, due to the community just was so friendly. The community was so close, and everybody just wanted to help each other. And so that's something that, since I've been back for the last 2 years, I've tried to join a few things. I'm actually the Special Olympics coordinator now. So that is something that I'd like to do too with our kids. And so I just, want to try to give back to the community as much as I can. And, it might help me too, because I'm not the perfect shooter myself. So that would give me some practice too. So I would like you to consider me as advisory council person. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. I would like to say that it's always hard for board appointments when you have 5 really, really good applicants and 3 spots. It's one of the toughest things we deal with. But I do want to point out that if you are not appointed, that doesn't mean you cannot be involved, and I'm sure the board would appreciate you working with them to bring your special talents to them also. So with that, I'll ask the uncomfortable question. Does anybody have a motion? Vice Mayor Wells.
I move to appoint Todd Kennedy to the Rollins Community Shooting Ranges Advisory Board for a term ending June 30th, 2025.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to appoint Todd Kennedy to the Rollins Community Shooting Range Advisory Board for a term ending June 30th, 2025. Is there any discussion? Please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas and 1 nay. The 1 nay was Councilmember Martinez.
Thank you. Councilman Durst.
I move to appoint Tanya Taylor to the Rawlins Community Shooting Range Advisory Board for a term ending June 30th, 2025.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion made and seconded to appoint Tanya Taylor to the Rollins Community Shooting Range Advisory Board for a term ending June 30th, 2025. Is there any discussion? Please open online voting.
Okay, online voting is open. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Councilmember Smith?
Just a moment, please.
Oh, sorry. No,
Computer crash.
my computer decided to be ornery on me. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas and 1 nay. The 1 nay was Councilmember Smith.
All right. Thank you. The next, is there a motion, Councilman Smith?
Yes, I move that we appoint Roger Epp to the Rawlins Community Shooting Range Advisory Board for a term ending June 30th, 2025.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion made and seconded to appoint Roger Epp to the Rollins Community Shooting Range Advisory Board for a term ending June 30th, 2025. Is there any discussion? Please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. And Chris Iacovetto, I would like to thank you for your long time service to that board, and I hope you stay involved. And Chris Davis, thank you for applying, and I hope you stay active in helping promote that also. All right, so,
Could I
excuse me.
just say something really quick?
Yes.
I would encourage both of you to put in for other boards because you have a great deal of background working with the city, and we would welcome you to try for other boards and commissions.
Councilman Weisenberg?
Yeah, also, Chris, I'd like to say thank you for everything you've done out there too. I remember when it was just sagebrush also, and that whole advisory board has come a long ways and made that place what it is today. So thank you guys for your service to the community. I appreciate it.
Anybody else? All right. Next thing on our agenda is City Council reports. Board of Adjustments, Councilman Durst.
There is, I think it's a joint meeting with the Planning Commission on the 27th, at 6.
Okay.
So
The
there
next-
is a joint, a joint meeting with the Planning Commission on the 27th at 6 o'clock.
Okay. The next thing is Carbon County Council of Governments. I'm on that board. Myra and I are going to go there. It's tomorrow night, and we're going to talk about securing some of the money COG has to help us promote the fifth penny tax. There's several other things that'll be discussed there, but that's the main thing for the city of Rollins, and so that's what is going to go on there. The next one is DDA Main Street, Councilman Smith.
Yes, thank you. First of all, I would like to mention that we do, that our downtown development, or DDA, has, and I'm supposed to say Main Street, has a website that you can go on. It's rawlinsdowntown.org, and also the Business Innovation Hub is also connected to that, and there's lots and lots of information there, and events and everything like that. So I encourage all of you to kind of see what they put on there this time, because it's awesome. Okay, reporting on the Summerfest. We had one of the largest Summerfest ever, and we had 750 attendees at the Friday night block party. We had over 2,500 attendees on the Saturday Summerfest, and we also have a volunteer to take over the car show in 2023, and that's Robert Watson. So we also, I just was so excited to see the art projects where everyone in the community, I shouldn't say everyone, but from old to new kids, fourth graders, painted and put their own paintings on kites, and so we had a display that was awesome, and people got to vote for the photo contest, and that was awesome too. So with that, some upcoming events. Winterfest is November 25th to December 3rd. It will include November 25th as Blue Plaid Friday, 26th of November is Small Business Saturday, and December 1st is the Chambers Starlight Parade. Also, Art Beat is going to be held September 30th, and that's all we met, and we had a lot of fun discussion, and so I think it was pretty awesome.
That's awesome. Sounds like it was really a good time. Thank you. Next thing is Rollins Planning Commission, Councilman Weisenberg.
Yes, we had a board meeting, I believe it was last Tuesday, just discussed bylaws. We'll be putting that forth in front of the commission to approve that, and then on up to council after that. And then we looked at the plats for the rodeo court subdivision over there. They're building over there, so they just want to have us look at it, and with the way that the ground is and everything, they want to bring up what they're planning on doing, and it's all through building code and everything anyways. So
When you say rodeo court, tell me about that.
it's rodeo street. It's up in behind, so if you're heading east on Spruce Street,
Oh, okay.
right at rodeo, you take a right and it's back in there, a cul-de-sac. They have 2 houses under development now, and I think 3 more in the planning, so 5 houses total in there, so it'll be a good thing for the community there. So then same thing as what Councilman Durst had said, the joint workshop is what it is for the fencing ordinance, so we can get that straightened out on Title 19 and bring it back, and just a little bit at a time coming forward so we can keep presenting that, and that'll be, like you said, the 27th at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Next is Urban Systems Committee, Councilman Garner.
I don't have an update yet.
Okay, thank you. The next thing on our agenda is Windmill Blade Delivery Report from Carbon County Economic Development Corporation. So
You can blame it on Patrick.
Right? Thank you, Mayor and Council. Can I give me a minute, please? So I can, let's make a clarification about what's on the agenda saying delivery of wind blades. That is not what this is. Okay.
they were straightened out, right?
They were. Yep, I did have this all organized here. Okay, may I please approach?
Please do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vaughn.
Okay, so my report is basically a summary of what has been going on and which will lead to the blades after I find my note that I dropped. Does somebody have my note? Gosh. Please accept my apologies. Do you have, Patrick, is there notes on the floor there? They were here. Oh, I can't wing it, just. Huh?
They're not in the voting order.
No.
Yvonne, you can use it.
All right, I'm gonna have to sort of wing it, I guess. Okay, nobody has my notes?
Is it this, the summer report?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize that was.
Way to go, Jackie.
All right. Okay, I apologize. All right, let's just kind of go around Carbon County here. So we'll start in bags. Bags, as you know, the Crowheart Energy donated the old Devon Energy building in bags to start a senior living, it's assisted living, senior living facility. The plan is they're already starting to cut out the buildings, and we'll be moving the medical center, and the first responders will have their own quarters up above some double doors. They're going to have their own area there on premise. The big debate is to move the senior center over there as well, but there is concern because it is the only outlet to be able to get out in the community. And if everybody is all in one spot, all it is going to be a walk across the parking lot. So it's still in pretty big discussion. Sinclair Theater, we've secured funding for draping at in the gymnasium and the tea room. This will expand their theater events and be able to open up for a very nice facility to be able to do family reunions, prom possibly, funerals, etc. So we're very excited about that. In Hannah, we're working with a developer on a small housing development. And also we have a discussion ongoing right now for a small unit motel. We're looking at 6 to 9 rooms. We're trying to figure out if it's going to be feasible or not. So we're in the middle of that. Medicine Bow still have new business that is seeking a building for a new business, and that's still ongoing as well. Well, as you all know, Saratoga is really booming. We spend a lot of time there, at least 1 to 2 days a week. We have 2 motels there that are under restoration and remodel. Been working very closely with them. As you know, the Saratoga Resort has caused quite a stir with their signage that they put in at their new building, and so right now I'm just making sure the clients that I'm working with will be compliant when they get their new signs, and to avoid everything that is going on. Bottle Bar Art Gallery, as you may know, is under contract. This was a client of mine that is now not happening. It's been given back to the owner and is up for resale again. You may have heard about a new pool and water park that's still in the planning stages. They've pretty well got a lot of funding. They're not going, right now is kind of mum's the word, but they've got a lot of money to be able to make this happen. Encampment, we've got developers in Encampment that are struggling for help to proceed with their projects on building restorations that are already, they are in progress, and they're struggling to keep their projects going. We have 26 units with a slip development that will be going in Riverside. That developer is, I think, Indiana or Minnesota. On Rollins, we've got a new development going in right off of I-80. I really can't really, I mean, it's probably already known, but I need more information, but just to know that you're gonna start seeing some construction right off of I-80, out by the County 6, I can tell you that. Working on some little things that may be a possibility to bring in some new business. And I better not tell you what I'm working on. Anyway, okay, so look for news on that. So in Cheyenne, Wyoming Environmental Brownfield Assessment Grant, I submitted 9 buildings throughout Carbon County. The report, we will know by the end of September if what buildings were selected. I submitted a very detailed report with pictures, history. They were pretty darn impressed and said if they could give us all the money, they would have selected all 9 buildings, and we would be. So just to let you know, we've got 1 in Rollins, 1 in Saratoga, 1 in Medicine Bow, 7 in Hannah, and then the Veterans Medicare. It's called the Medicare/Veterans Row. There's some homes in Hannah that are up on a ridge. The view is absolutely gorgeous. This is part of the new housing development that we're working on, but these buildings were also included in my report. So that kind of a quick summary there. So now the big reveal here. Oh, we've got Energy Day coming up. This will lead into our next topic. So the Rollins Carbon County Chamber of Commerce, this was their event for I don't know for sure how many years, and I was asked like the end of June if I would be interested, if economic development would be interested in taking over this event for the Carbon County Fair. As you can see, I got the phone call like Friday afternoon, emails went out, 9 responses came back, and we are full. We've got 13 different industries coming in. You can kind of see that it's a little diverse, and as you know, for me, diversity is huge. And so it's only going to get more diverse. And so I'm very excited about that. We will be handing out a passport. This is a large view of what this passport is going to look like. All participants will get one. They will be stamped at every industry that they go to. This is not Chris coming to Black Hills Energy and saying, I want a stamp. Chris is going to have to interact and ask some questions and participate with the sector that they're at. Once they're all stamped, then they will go to Doug Boyd, who will handle the free lunch, and they'll get a ticket to get a free lunch. And there'll be a lot of games, prizes. I'm really excited about that. So with that, then not even a week later, I get an email, and we have been offered a windmill blade to Carbon County. And so it was a shocker. It was quite a shock. I didn't know how to really handle it. Talked to my board. Then I called Mayor Terry Wycombe first, then went down the line and he recommended to talk to Sean and to see about location. Well, then going back, it was advised that the preference was to be on county property. And so that kind of changed a little bit of the ball game And so the proposal has now moved to the Carbon County Fairgrounds. So as you can see, I did a letter, then we have a letter of support from the Carbon County Fair Board, and then we'll go through your packet. So this blade is 122 feet long, 3 inches and 3 inches. The height is 10 foot, 1 inch, 5 feet around. That's they call it the nose. Okay. So on the map, this has been decided by the Fair Board and where the placement will be. So we've got one turbine that is going to suspend 10 feet up off the fence line, or about 2 feet actually off that fence line right there on the corner of Harshman and Daly. It will be sitting at a vertical. We cannot have a horizontal because Flight for Life is on that pathway, and to secure it with the wind that we have, it just would be too dangerous. So this turbine is going to be serving as a digital, they have been working on, I don't know for how long, a digital signage to do events, and this will be an ongoing all year round. We will cut the nose at that 5 foot and make it easy for maintenance to be able to go in and work on any of the housing on that signage. The second blade, actually they've asked for 3 and I have submitted, we'll go into that, but 2 for right now. Then there are pictures, the color pictures are a blade that is sitting in Cheyenne at LCCC. And just to kind of give you a visual, you'll see the stabilizers that is holding the mount. We're going to need something a lot more secure because if they do the suspension, we'll definitely have to make that more secure. Also, there'll be a lot of straps and that kind of thing. So, what are we going to do with these blades? We're going to repurpose them. And this will be the start. So you're going to see a bicycle rack. Instead of being a bicycle rack, it's going to be a 120-foot slab picnic table with benches. This overhang here, so the Fair Board, the second picture, they want to flip it. So that is going to be facing the buildings to provide better shade because they have a little bit of trees there. This placement is going to be right on the other side, so the parking lot, when you go in, for the fair participants, it will be right on that other side of the fence on the south side. If it's flipped, then they're going to use this on the back on that side as an advertising billboard, possibly a mural. And so that's what the plan is with that. The third blade will be serving just like this, but I don't know if you know, but the the rodeo grounds is going, right after fair, is going to be going away. They are going to be compliant with the pro rodeo circuit, PRC. And so new chutes, new everything, the rodeo grounds are going to move back to where the stands are. So this third blade placement, the plan that I would like to see is this would serve as a hitching post and cap the ends to make it a water trough. They absolutely love this, and it actually will solve quite a few problems for them as far as everybody gathering together. Then you'll see the picnic table is going to be much thicker. I just wanted you to see how this is it's much more solid. It will be like a park bench, the concrete benches. It'll be very secure. Then this one, they're all over it. This is the nose of the blade. They do not want the nylon mesh, as you can see, graded will make this a solid. They're going to be doing a beer garden, and one of the board members said this will serve very nicely for seating there at their new beer garden. Then the last 2 pages, I can see this happening. If we played our cards right, if the City of Rollins, if we had another opportunity, which I think that we could, I think this is a really good way to repurpose. This is one blade, it's a whole tower, and then it's cut up and made into tunnels. Obviously, it's a park. I would like to see one of these in Medicine Bow as well, but they've already said, I guess there's not enough traffic on the highway there to get that, I guess, looky-loos or whatever. This, also the blades at the, if they do go at the fairgrounds, we will have an interpretive information, education, it will be all on secure on the blades, so we're excited about that. Your very last is the very generic letter from Sharon Fain and what they're going to do. This is a delivery at no cost to the city or the county. They will set the blades, and so this planning stage right now, we've really got to narrow it down and make sure that once they set, they're set. Like, we're not going to be able to, oh, we don't like it there, it needs to be moved 10 feet, it ain't happening. So a planning committee has been formed. The county commissioners, I met with them yesterday. It does have to go to vote. The fair board voted and approved, but the county commissioners said they have to vote. So they will have that final decision. I have a lot more information. This is just like barely off the ground. And so I'm just letting you know, this is what could possibly be happening. Any thoughts? Questions?
You're a busy lady.
Anything? Chris, do you want to say anything?
Looks like a good plan. I'd like to see a museum like the mayor suggested too.
Exactly.
Something for the city of Rollins, not just Carbon County.
Exactly.
When I went to that ribbon cutting out at Gateway West, there was, I talked to Sharon about that and tried to explain my dream, and there were other people there from Rocky Mountain Power, and I think if we get ready and stay ready, we might be able to pull it off.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that we need to start simple first. And even though this looks like a really big project, we're not cutting the blades. They're going to be, because this is the first project, we'll get them set, see how that all goes, and then let's move on. Let's do something for the city. I definitely can see that happening. Absolutely. And I will be right behind to help you make that dream come true as well.
I have gotten, the other day Sean asked me how many emails I'm still getting about wind energy or inquiries, and I counted up in the last month I got over 150 more. And they just keep coming, and people are interested in it. I think it would be something, if we could get a museum going, get a nacelle, some blades, I think they would pull off the highway to, myself, I would just go in one. I'm not going up 300 foot, but I'll go up one that's 10 foot off the ground. But it's a dream I've had for,
Long time.
yeah, since 2004, 5, 6
Yeah.
area. And
Well, I was
it's now
director.
time we can get some of these things as they replace them and upgrade and whatnot. If we get ready and stay ready, I think we can do it. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the conversation when I was director at the museum in Saratoga. I mean, and they would invite me to meetings, but nothing has happened. So this happened so quick, you guys, and it was like fast research, and yeah, it's really exciting. So I hope that we can make this happen, and that be the start, and then we can move forward. I do have, go ahead.
I was, if I
Go-
may.
yes.
I was just going to say, I think in one of the articles about the mayor, and it was a national, international article, but it stated that Carbon County is going to be home to the largest wind project in the United States. I think it's on Chokecherry Ridge or something.
Yes, the Sierra Madre.
Yeah, so I just wanted to point that out.
Well, and that's the largest single one, but, you know, there's already 1,000 towers in Carbon County, and Chokecherry and Sierra Madre is talking about 1,000, so our area's
Yeah.
already there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's amazing how much interest there is, and, you know, just other countries.
Right.
You know, the Discovery Channel did a half-hour program on us. 2 full pages in the New York Times, the front 2 pages in the largest newspaper in Mexico is an exact reprint of New York Times. Carbon County's been on TV in Holland, Germany, the UK. I mean, it's just crazy how it just kind of blew up. But Diane Searcy is who did the first article, and she was a Pulitzer winner in 2020. So and she has 2 or 3 million followers, and so that's what started it. And then, I mean, the floodgates were open, and and just so everybody knows, this Sunday after my birthday party, I'm going to be in Denver. I've been asked to speak at the National Association of Legislators. I'm on a panel there to talk about how to transition, what are the hurdles, you know, what did we face, what did we not see that's happening now, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, I almost didn't do it because the timing was horrible, but I've decided to do it. And so Sunday, the 31st, that's what I'll be doing.
Good. Okay, anything else? I have one more thing. As you all know, Rose's Laureate is being removed and will be closing their business. I would like to say on behalf of the family, I was with them today. Out of respect, please do not call them and offer them buildings or what they can do next. This is like a death to the family right now, and they just need some time. They very much appreciate everyone's support. The community has just come out of the woodwork to help and try to save their business and try to find a different location for them. But just at this time, let's give them. They know they're going to reach out to us when they're ready, and they may not. And so, but that's a family decision. It's not a decision for us.
That breaks my heart.
Yep, it sure does. All right, thank you very much. I'm sorry it took so long.
No problem, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I gotta find my glasses, hang on. Okay, city manager and staff reports.
So I'm not the city manager, but I'll fill in for a second. Just a couple of things that we just wanted to report. Just wanted to remind you, we have the Y Rollins Town Hall meeting. Will be happening on July 27th at 6 p.m. Sorry, it's the same time as your meeting. But this will be happening there just to encourage the public to come and to talk about Rollins and see what we identify with and be able to come up with why Rollins is meaning to us. So there's that information. Secondly, I just wanted to report that congratulations to Tom for a second. He got the audit information sent off for the second audit. I knew you'd be excited about that. So that went on Friday. So that's, and he's currently working on the 2021-2022 audit. So moving right into the next one. So hopefully we'll be able to get that back soon. And then, if you have a moment, would like to turn the time to Pat Martinez. He's going to give a little update on the free landfill days and what happened with that.
Okay, if I may speak, I got the numbers for the cleanup. Last year it ran for approximately a week. You know, what we all think about that, it was just a lot of stuff. Their count last year was 1,482 people, well, vehicles, bringing 487 tons. That's a loss for the city at $34,092.80. This year, the way we did it this year with the coupons, it did last varying about 3 weeks to a month. The total count of vehicles were 411. We brought in 180 tons, 0.94. So that times 70, it costed the city roughly $12,665.
What's your takeaway? Were there people that shouldn't be bringing trash to our dump that got by with it before, or?
Then compared to now, it was very compliant with the people of Rollins. They were very nice, courteous. They didn't feel like they had to be rushed for that week. They had a longer period to come in. So they did actually more work and got more stuff out, even though the numbers are shorter or smaller. It seemed to better the community as how they felt about it.
Well, but what I'm getting at is it's less than half.
Mm-hmm.
So the ones now that got the coupons are the actual Rollins residents that pay for that service. Were there other people, did it knock off a bunch of people that didn't deserve that service in the past, or?
We seen mostly locals instead of people that we've never seen before. So I would say yes, definitely helped out there. We're gonna do another one in September, so it should catch on a lot better, and then we'll go from there for next year.
So we can add the two together and see. It'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Very.
But it was easier on you folks?
Oh, gosh, yes. There wasn't so much manpower and time. There wasn't so much fuel cost for equipment. It was more of just a day-to-day operation. It's just a different way to pay.
Instead of a mad rush.
Yes.
That's good news.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, guys. Any more questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
That's all I have.
All right. Next thing on our agenda is the city attorney report.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. At the next meeting, I will be bringing a minimum of 2 ordinances that I have been working on for your review. My goal is to at least every time we have one come through the 3 readings, that I have another civil and criminal ready for the next round of 3. My goal is to do at least 1 criminal and 1 civil ordinance that needs updating every cycle. And I already have 2, 1 criminal and 1 civil, that will be coming to you probably at the next meeting.
Okay.
Reading.
I'm sorry?
For discussion or reading?
For the first reading.
Okay.
It's my intent to send them ahead of time, obviously, so everyone can review them, but bringing them forward for first reading, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next thing on our agenda is direction from City Council to the City Manager and City Attorney. Is there anything? Councilman Martinez?
I'd like to visit a little bit with the manager about the water restrictions. I had a chance to visit with a gentleman that has 50 years of landscaping, and if you can only see his yard, it's like being in Hawaii. I mean, there's just flowers and grass and trees, and it doesn't seem like it's in Rollins. And he told me, we were sitting there, and he kind of knocked me off the chair when he said, well, you know, these water restrictions, we gave away too much water. Having it set at 4 hours or 8 hours, he called it, he said it should have been way less than that. He said we could have went to 2 hours, or the 4 hours split in half, make it 2 hours on a Monday, 2 hours on a Wednesday, and then the same on Thursdays, and then it would skip Friday and go to a Saturday, well, whatever. Anyway, the point was making was that he says all that water is wasted when you allow them to water as much as you did, because it doesn't help the grass. It has to be, should have been done in two parts, 2 days. And I kind of believe that. I just seen his yard, and we're walking through his garden as we talked about it, and I'd like the staff to look at that and see if we can't change our water restrictions to that. Now, in Cheyenne, when I was down there, they're on 3-day restrictions down there. The only thing is, I did ask a council member up there, well, how can you tell how they're watering? I mean, 3 days. And he said, well, we kind of take them at their word. But anyway, I like the way we set ours up. We just need to look at the hours instead of having it just one shot. But that would be up to the staff. And I just wanted to let you know that I really believe this guy, because you got to just see his property to understand how water works. That's it.
Anything else, Councilman Garner?
I'd just like to ask the council if everybody would be interested in introducing or implementing a code of ethics for the council and a code of conduct. I was looking on our website and asked for a little help trying to find something, and I can't find anything that is specific for this council. So it's just curious if we could have a work session to discuss it and maybe implement something for the council and future councils. See what the support is on it.
My opinion about that is, just so you know, that almost everything we do is highly regulated by the state. And when it comes to ethical issues, the state law is very specific about the way we perform ethically. I just don't want to make more rules to cure problems we don't necessarily have. And the last time we looked at them, there were things in there like each council person could speak once about each subject. And that totally goes against my grain, because that's not a discussion. That it shortens the meeting, but it doesn't accomplish much. It just means you're gonna have more meetings. I don't know how anybody else feels, but how do you all feel about that and a workshop about it?
I'd be fine with it.
Okay with the workshop?
I mean, I get your point. I don't necessarily, but I don't know that, you know, an ethical rule book and only speaking once, I think that's kind of two separate issues. To me, that's more of a protocol thing. So I can see where you could come up with a rule and book of ethics that could bypass a concern like that. So I would support it.
Barry?
I'd like to see what's gonna be in this rule book. I'd like to see what you're talking about.
Right.
Ethics, you know.
And that's why we would have that work session.
We had, at times, we had rules before that we had to follow. Some of them were you couldn't miss 3 consecutive meetings in a row, that council could boot you out. That's how I started. And so you tried to make every meeting you could. We didn't have a squawk box that you could call 10 times. Code of ethics to me was that we would follow the ordinance that we had. We haven't been following it. It says 4 call-ins. I think we've overused it. So I'd like to see what the list of stuff that you're talking about, ethics, and then go from there and maybe talk about each one separately.
So your answer is yes, you would support a workshop to talk about it.
I would support a workshop, yeah. Yeah, a workshop, not the whole subject though, just a workshop.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris, Linda?
Yeah, do you have examples right now, like that you could send us out?
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that stuff, and then to see if it's necessary for a workshop too. I mean, I don't have a problem with the workshop, but I'd like to see this before a workshop also, so you know we can see if there's already ordinances and stuff in place that takes a lot of this stuff out of the, you know, and state statutes and stuff. So
okay. I'll send some.
If you would send it.
I can tell you the next meeting we already have a workshop for. So, hearing what I'm hearing, if you could send that out to us,
yeah.
Then at the next meeting we could decide whether we wanted to proceed with a workshop. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
Everybody good with that? Okay. Is there anything else? Okay. Next thing on our agenda is unfinished business, and Vice Mayor Wells has her hand up.
I move to approve the third and final reading and waive the reading of the ordinance amending resolution number 7B 2015 fees, finance, water, sewer, and utilities, appendix E, page 2 of 2, recycling utility fixed rate, and then changing the monthly fixed rate charged from residents from $3 to $6.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
There's been a move made and seconded to approve the third and final reading and waive the reading of the ordinance amending resolution number 7B-2015 fees, finance, water, sewer, and utilities, appendix E, page 2 of 2, recycling utility fixed rate and changing the monthly fixed rate charge to residents from $3 to $6. Is there any discussion? Councilman Weisenberg.
Yeah, I've voiced my opinion before. I didn't voice it last time. I'm still in the same opinion now. I understand we need some revenue or more revenue for the recycling center to do more capital projects and stuff, but I've had that conversation, you know, before too, that, you know, we're charging more for less now. We've removed recycling bins from across town. I understand why. Residents have to go all the way down to the recycling center and stuff like that too. So if we're gonna increase this, I would honestly like to see those back. into some places where residents don't have to travel as far, and put the bins back what they were originally intended for, why the recycling fee was originally intended, into the public. So if we have to figure out some security measures or whatever we have to do to allow that to continue, I'd like to see that happen.
Councilman Martinez?
Chris, I kind of agree with you. I guess my problem is they had those bins, and I don't think they had a way to find out what exactly, how to keep people from putting the stuff in those bins other than recycle stuff. They got everything. People just went down and threw their trash in there instead of just cardboard, and so it made a lot more work for the people doing the recycling. So that's the only reason didn't bother me that they removed them, because that was my understanding that's what was happening.
Councilman Garner?
What prevents it from happening at the other one?
What's that?
What do you know? What prevents this from happening at the other location? What's the difference?
I can tell you what happened when we removed them. It's been a lot faster. We have more product now instead of more garbage. We're sending trucks out faster, filling them up faster, because they feel like they're being watched now because they're right next to the building. It's a lot cleaner, and right now we're only working with 2 guys because our part-time, he left. So we're keeping them just fine as it is now because we don't have so much to clean up. Like we bring in a plastic bin, it's a plastic bin. We bring in a cardboard bin, it's a cardboard bin. And production is out the roof. I mean, we're throwing out bells way faster than we ever have. So taking those away from those spots really helped the recycling.
Are there locations that we can put those that would maybe help deter? Like, I don't know.
You'd have to put them like here at City Hall or at Public Works or somewhere where everybody's at most of the time. Because, they use those down there at nighttime, and that's probably the only time we get trash in them. As long as the people feel like they're being watched while they're doing it, they do the right thing.
Any further discussion? Please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting has closed. The motion passes. Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you all set?
Yeah.
Weisenberg? Okay, so the motion passes with 6 yeas and 1 nay, and Councilmember Weisenberg was nay.
All right, thank you. Next thing on our agenda is payroll. Councilman Durst.
I move to approve the June 19, 2022 through July 2nd, 2022 payroll register for $258,602.90.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to approve the June 19th, 2022 through June 2nd, 2022. July 2nd, 2022 payroll register for $258,602.90. Is there any discussion? Please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, next thing on our agenda is accounts payable. Councilman Smith.
Yes, I move to approve the accounts payable register for the period of July 1st, 2022 to July 6th, 2022 in the amount of $258,043.18.
There's been a motion made and seconded to approve the accounts payable register for the period of July 1st, 2022 to July 6th, 2022 in the amount of $258,043.18. Is there any discussion? Please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. The next thing on our agenda is a resolution. Vice Mayor Wells.
I move to approve resolution to revise Article 5, meeting Section 7 bylaws for Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee to hold the regularly scheduled meeting on the first Thursday of the month for September through June, and the first Wednesday in July and August.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to approve a resolution to revise Article 5 meetings, Section 7 bylaws for the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee to hold the regularly scheduled meeting on the first Thursday of the month for September through June, and the first Wednesday in July and August. Excuse me. Is there any discussion? Why the difference in months?
I think it's music in the
The
park.
months in July
Oh.
and August are because of music in the park.
I get it.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask
Yeah.
you, and then it dawned on me.
Yeah, it didn't dawn on me. Okay. Any further discussion? Please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. The next thing on our agenda is a resolution for the ARPA money. Councilman Smith.
I move to approve resolution certification for staff to apply for ARPA 2022-23, American Rescue Plan, our ACT Water Project funding through the State Land and Investment Board in the amount of $7,452,174 and a city matching fund of $1,117,826, of which, and I understand, could I just say something really quick?
Make the motion first.
Okay, of which all of the 1.117825 or 826 million will come from the Choke Cherry Impact Assistant funding.
I'll second that.
Now,
There's
Mayor,
been a motion made and seconded to approve the resolution and certification for staff to apply for the ARPA 2022-23 American Rescue Plan ACT Water Project funding through the State Land and Investment Board in the amount of $7,452,174 and a city matching fund of $1,117,826, which will come from the Sierra Madre
no, I
Impact
think
Fund?
it's Choke Cherry Impact Assistant funding.
Okay, sorry. Choke Cherry Impact Assistance Fund.
Could I?
Discussion.
Discussion and clarification on this motion. We received a message from the city manager that we're not taking the $739,000 out of our ARPA funding that we just received. So he suggested that we make sure it came out of the Choke Cherry Impact Assistant funding, and that's why I changed the motion.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I'm sorry, I didn't know that. That must have happened just within the last.
Yeah, we got the notice. And if we're not correct reading that email from him, that's what he said. I have a change, and I suggest that it be taken out of Choke Cherry funding, Impact Assistant funding. And if we're wrong, we can change the motion later.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that, so I'm just kind of responding then we need to edit this resolution orally tonight because I've got to get the resolution in the mail.
Mayor, the 700 and some thousand that, or 750 some thousand ARPA funds that we just received were received to go into the general fund to balance the budget. And so that's why he realized that and said that we need to change that motion to be what he asked it to be. But if we want to leave it if we want to amend the motion to leave it as it's written here, we can do that to facilitate their resolution. But I'm just doing what thought we
Well-
were properly asked to do.
I actually read that email also, and I think that another problem would be matching a grant with a grant. So matching it with the $1,117,826 coming from the impact assistance from Choke Cherry cleans that up, because the other portion was used to balance the budget. So we can't, it's more accurate to leave it the way Linda stated it.
That makes sense to me. I'm just, whatever, communications you all have had with the city manager, I'm just concerned once you make a decision that we either fix this orally or I make a new copy of it to be signed.
Make a new copy. When does it have to go out?
I can wait till the 26th when you guys meet again.
Well, or you can call me. I'll be around.
Okay, let's do
I'm
that.
not leaving. Well, you can't call me tomorrow.
Okay.
Mayor, if we could just go ahead and verbally pass the recommendation, and they can just fix
Fix that and give you a call on Friday?
that, and we can come back and.
Yeah, Friday
That'd
would
be
work.
good? Okay.
And you
Let
can
me
come back
make
and
sure.
sign it.
Tomorrow I'm in training all day and then COG all night, and then, let me just make sure.
I'd like to know the balance and what's gonna be removed out of Choke Cherry to allow for this, also due to the fact that I thought, all impact assistance funds was already set to be expended. I mean, I have no problem moving it around and doing this, correct? But I wanna know what was taken out and where, you know what I mean, also. And then this message, I have not seen this email, I guess.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did receive it.
I do have Friday open.
He does have Friday. Andrea, he is available
I
Friday.
can come Friday
That
and
would be
sign
great.
that. Thursday,
Okay, I'll get it fixed before then.
Wednesday's emergency management training and COG, and then the 21st is the Seminole tour and music in the park, and then the 22nd I got open.
That would be great.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah. So you might want to remind me.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure will.
And that'll give you a chance maybe to converse with Sean to make positive what we're talking about here.
Sounds good.
And talk to Tom about
I'll be gone
that
tomorrow
impact
and Thursday,
assistance
but
to make
Friday.
sure that money is available through that particular fund.
That sounds great. I'll just catch up with
Okay.
you on Friday if this goes through.
Sure.
And we'll also square away the budget with Finance Director Tom as well
Sure.
in the meantime.
Yeah, to make sure that that's all copacetic, we're not spending the money twice anywhere.
Okay.
Be fun, but we can't do it.
Do y'all have any other questions for us?
Would you
No,
like to know
thank
what's
you for your
included in the
hard work.
project?
Yeah, I'm confused too. I'm just asking to know what was removed out of Choke Cherry to allow this much for the water. And then cause I never seen an email come through for this, so. Yeah, so, and Councilman Gardner never did also, he said, so.
Did you
I'd
get
like
them to worry
to,
about
I'd
it?
like to know what was removed, what's going on. I mean, I gotta have clarification on this too, you know?
So, Austin, do you want to talk about that, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll attempt to. I'll try to do this as intelligently as I can. So, based on what we have on the books right now, we have total capital projects of $2,356,192. And in that, we have Choke Cherry, which I can list off the individual capital improvements if you'd like.
Just the total.
The total? Let's see. I don't have the total on hand for the Choke Cherry broken down individually. But it does include like TB Flats and Gateway West and Ecola. So,
Yeah, it's only Choke
so
Cherry.
yeah, I'll have to work on getting you a number.
If we need to wait to get clarification from the city manager, are you all meeting on the 26th?
Yes, there's a work session scheduled.
Work
I have-
session,
It's a work
not a
session.
Meeting.
I have not put it in the paper yet, so we could put it in the paper that we are having one, we could have a regular meeting, an action item, and then you would close that meeting, and then you would roll right into your work session like we've done in the past, earlier this year.
That would be my preference. I would
Okay.
rather just log in and have a 10-minute meeting to vote on this once everybody can come back with 100% clarity. Because any way you look at it, I'm very uncomfortable going either way at this point because it doesn't feel like, I mean, it feels like if we go the way it was originally written, it's going to have to change and be wrong. And I don't feel like, I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying that I feel like we need a little bit more clarity in order to even go, and I would be totally open to just logging in a meeting.
And that
with one
won't bother
agenda
you, the
item.
26th, that won't?
The 26th is okay, if we get it signed
Okay.
sometime
No,
that week.
I'm just going off of what Sean
No, I get it, I get
asked
it.
us to do, so.
Mayor, I move to, I don't know, retable it or postpone this matter till the next,
You want to, okay.
till the 26th.
Okay, so we have, Linda, you did the first, I'm sorry, Councilmember Smith, you did the first.
Yes.
And Martinez did, Councilmember Martinez did the second.
And I would agree to it, postpone.
Postpone?
Yes.
All right, so you got to
Thank you.
move to postpone the resolution.
Any-
Okay, so the original motion read that Councilmember Smith had originally read. Move to approve resolution and certification for staff to apply for ARPA 2022-23 American Rescue Plan Act water project funding through the State Land and Investment Board in the amount of 452,174 and the city matching funds of the 826, all to come from the Choke Cherry Impact Assistant Funds. Was that the motion that you had?
Correct.
Yes, it was.
Okay, so you would like to move to postpone?
Yeah,
And
don't listen to me.
What was your cutoff? I'm sorry, was it next Friday?
The 26th would be fine. The grant is not due till August 10th, but I want to have everything in place.
No, sure, so, okay, so that, and that still gives you plenty of
Oh,
working
yeah,
time.
yeah, absolutely. I
Okay.
just have to make
I just want to
sure
make sure you
that-
had more than an hour, right?
Yeah, because things like this can happen, and then you're like, oh, there goes that grant. So absolutely, if we can come to some meeting on the minds on the 26th, that would still work for the grant deadline.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, so, the motion to postpone, can you open online voting?
Yeah.
Okay. Andrea, while we're waiting, what's your confidence level that we'll get this grant?
Well, it's a tough question.
There.
Probably about 98%.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
I spoke with some advisors, and I have several people look over the grant. I think we have, honestly, about a 70% chance.
Okay.
Grant. Yeah. When we were at the SLED meeting, a lot of people were saying, well, it's okay, we didn't get this, because we'll apply for ARPA. Oh, it's okay, we didn't get this, because we'll apply for ARPA. So I know there's a lot of other jurisdictions out there applying for the money.
Okay. I just was curious. You would know.
Pam, do you think that's fair to say?
Yeah, it's going to be very, all the ARPA grants are going to be very competitive, but I think that we have a solid case. We've been putting, getting other funding from other sources. I think we just put a good package together and show them how we're building upon other funds and leveraging that $7 million. That's going to be our best bet, is if we just leverage that money and show them that we're using it to the best of our ability, then I think that'll give us a solid grant application.
Good.
Is this something that we would get a message to the governor? Because the governor in discussion said that Rollins could be up there on the list. It would kind of be nice if we could write him a real nice letter and tell him we would appreciate all the support we can get for this project. I mean, it's so important. And since he supposedly, and I don't know this, I'm just going through what conversations took place, that he said that Rollins could be up there on this list. And so maybe kind of remind him at the time that when we apply for these funds from SLIB. Does that make sense?
I think something we can almost flip it the other direction, Counselor, is actually get additional, whether they're required or not from this. I haven't gone all the way through on this grant application, but I think we need at least 10 to 12 letters of recommendation from people across either the state or our own agencies from the county. I think flipping it around, Lori, is us submit letters of recommendation. And so we just, I
strongly support that. I really do. I think that's the way to go about it.
And in visiting with the governor when he was here, he told me that, and he told several people, I'm sure, but it was with my conversation with him, that he would do everything he could do to see that we got funded. We're the number one. He thinks we're the number one candidate for it because we need it that badly. And I thanked him and told him, because Governor, we cannot do this on our own. We need all the help we can get, and he promised that. So if like you said, and we need all the other folks too. Andrea.
Well, I intended to get letters of support this week, so we have enough time to get the back end. But we also have that petition that we circulated at the water meeting. I don't know if we have enough signatures to make it look good or make it look bad. Like we had discussed, if we don't have enough, then it looks bad, but if we have enough, it looks like more pressure. So I think that's just a conversation for us to have as the water team. But the state tracks where you're at in terms of water projects that are a priority. And right now we're coming in at number 8 on the state radar for the list that they keep of what they're going to prioritize next. We moved up a lot when the water failed on March 3rd when the water crisis happened. We moved our position up a lot through the EPA because of getting a boil advisory notice. So that also figures into their calculation. We're very high on the list considering.
Okay. Well, thank you, and I know you're doing all you can, all you guys, and I appreciate it. So, did you open online voting?
Nope. Are you all set?
Yes.
Online voting is open. Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
Thank you. Next thing on our agenda is an executive session. Vice Mayor Wells.
I move to enter into executive session at 9:17 PM per Wyoming Statute 16-4405 to consider or receive any information classified as confidential by law, and to consider the appointment, employment, right to practice, or dismissal of a public officer, professional person, or employee, or to hear complaints or charges brought against an employee, professional person, or officer, unless the employee, professional person, or officer requests a public hearing. The governing body may exclude from any public or private hearing during the examination of a witness any or all other witnesses in the matter being investigated. Following the hearing of executive session, the governing body may deliberate on its decision in executive session to consider the selection of a site or the purchase of a real estate when the publicity regarding the consideration would cause a likelihood of a increase in price.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to go into executive session. Any discussion? Open online voting.
Online voting is open.
All right.
Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.